Sorry, what are you going to say? Like, this is my boy Rene, blah, blah, blah.
Saying, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. My name's Soren Roy. I'm a barber here in New York City. I got my boy Rene coming in, Mr. Horoscope himself. Usually stays pretty scraggly, so I'm really excited to kind of shape him up. I don't think he's going to go for anything too short today. I think we're probably going to just kind of clean it up, and I'm excited to do that. Show you guys how I cut curly hair. I know a lot of barbers are kind of like scared to cut curly hair, don't really know what to do with it. I have curly hair. It used to be pretty long, so I feel pretty comfortable with it. Just from knowing how it feels. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. Cool. All right, Rene.
All right. What's up, dude?
What's up?
Nothing here.
Tell me about the hair.
All right. So what I always do is I basically just go for the cleanup. The whole thing. It's like nicer, shorter.
Yeah.
That's kind of always been my thing.
Okay.
You know?
That's what you want today.
Yeah.
You're not going for like a crazy transformation.
No, not really.
All right. Nicer, cleaner.
Yeah.
So, because this hair is like kind of your thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely like part of your image.
For sure.
And so, how do you describe it? Like, who do you think of?
I don't know. Kind of like just like unkept like 70s artist or whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
Kind of bohemian.
Bohemian, yeah.
Cool. So when was your last haircut?
Probably like March.
March. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been a good while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get you wrapped up, and we'll start it off.
Let's go.
All right. So then we're gonna do mostly a scissor cut.
Yeah, I kind of noticed the best haircuts I've seen have just been scissor.
Yeah.
Kind of like where they just like trim it like a poodle or whatever.
Do you have a shape that you like it to take? Like right now, it's pretty triangular.
Right. I kind of like just more like regular, like kind of normal fro kind of
Like more evenly dispersed.
For sure, yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So then, yeah, we're not gonna like texturize or thin your hair because with hair this curly, it's completely unnecessary.
Right. I was told to like not super like comb it out really bad.
Yeah, with hair, your texture, this curly, you don't want to like wake up in the morning and brush it dry because it's just gonna completely like frizz it out.
Yeah.
So you don't have any hair icons?
Not really. You know, kind of.
But I feel like you used to always who is it? Vincent Gallo.
Vincent Gallo.
Always. Kind of, like I feel like you used to always kind of reference him a little bit.
Yeah, he's got long hair for sure, beard. Yeah. I remember like a few years ago, someone was like, "Oh, like find people you kind of look like or whatever," and that's the way to go instead of like someone who, you know.
Right. Like something that isn't attached to what you actually look like.
For sure, right.
What your hair texture is or something.
Yeah, because it's a classic move of trying to be like, make my hair like this and work or whatever.
I mean, I used to do that all the time when I had long hair too. So I was always fighting against the curl to some extent. I mean, I always say like, I don't know, growing up, for me there weren't many like curly haired role models.
No,
you know, it was like I was like into Kurt Cobain and Marilyn Manson. And
for sure,
none of them had curly hair.
Yeah.
So I hated my curly hair really.
Yeah, same.
It wasn't until I got a bit older that I started to like appreciate it. Oh. Cool. So for Rene's hair, I want to remove a lot of this weight. Right now it's really triangular. That's what's having all this weight fall right here. Now, when it's wet, it's great because it falls. It's heavy enough to really hang down. Yeah. But as you and I know, when it dries, it really lifts up. Right. So we're going to remove some of this weight, which is going to allow it to fall into a rounder shape rather than being weighted down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the method we're going to do for that is square layers. Part it down the center, and then I'm going to part off the back section as well. Alright, so if you come back here, you'll see our back panel that we're going to take our sections out of. We call these square layers because we just hold them out square to the head, which is going to layer out this back section of hair. Then we'll move on to the right side, and we'll move out from the center onto the left side. Now, with hair this curly, you do have to stay super organized because it's so much harder to see your guides. So the guide is the hair that we've cut that we are following through the head. So we've cut a guide line in the hair, and now we're moving that section around, following it, and then almost like tracing it onto the next section. Right, and then you see this back panel is starting to kind of like layer out a bit, cascade. I use the word cascade a lot. Like we would use the word layering in hair, but I always like the word cascade. Yeah, I don't know. People can get a little scared of curly hair, of cutting it. I think people often like overthink it. I think for curly hair, the main thing is just consistency, because any inconsistency really offsets the whole head more so in curly hair than in straight hair. If something's longer, it really unbalances the volume of the hair, because longer bits are heavier. Yeah, I think there's people who, people who get mid-length haircuts usually come in less than people that get shorter haircuts, because once you pass that mid-length,
it's easy to just be long.
Yeah. So the way that I maintain the length is by over-directing the hair in the front backwards. And that maintains length in the front rather than keeping it too short. And I always think the thing with hair this curly, this textured, that you don't want to be afraid of just kind of like shaping it like a bush.
Yeah, the best haircuts didn't have like that kind of that way.
Alright, so now we've cut the basic like perimeter and the sides. We're going to lift the hair up, just trim the top. See it already, like, so much shape. There's a lot out here.
For sure.
Let's dry this. I should have a diffuser, but I don't. Diffuser? A diffuser. Alright, so a diffuser is a tool you use to dry curly hair. It diffuses the pressure of the blow dryer. Do you ever blow dry your hair?
Never.
Yeah, so diffuser is what you would use if I was a real professional.
Right.
I would have one in it. It would disperse the air around the hair, the air and the heat, just to not blow the curl out.
Right.
Because if I blow it too hard,
Then it'll just
so this is a tip for barbers, a little DIY. If you don't have one, you can use your hand. So I'll put it on a higher heat, a lower air setting, and I'll kind of just use my hand to diffuse the air. Basically, whatever shape your hair dries in is generally the way it's gonna stay.
Right.
So If I'm holding her hair into the shape of the curl as it's drying, it's going to dry curlier and stay more voluminous. If I'm blowing it and like brushing it or combing it, I'm pulling the curl out and drawing it a little straighter. Yeah, right? So it's really just about removing some weights. But even still, I want to go through and like really shape it. Just get these little road hangers. Whenever I do like a mid-length haircut, I still just be responsible for the back of the neck and getting it clean. Alright, good. We're only halfway there. Cool. Let's talk about the beard a little bit.
Yeah.
I would say a beard is kind of like guys' makeup. Like it's the way we can shape our face. It contours our face really. So I think if we take this stuff in, it then elongates your face rather than rounding it out.
Right.
Getting it off the lip makes a huge difference.
For sure. Yeah.
And yeah, awesome. Cool. So for beards, I usually like to put in lines first. And I really do like to do a lot of freehand trimmer work like that, but for the cheeks I'll also bring in my clipper. Just start tapering it. It's the 1.5 guard closed. I'm going to open it and I'm going to kind of ride off the cheek. The important thing to notice, even when I'm doing freehand trimmer work, I'm always bracing myself on his body or somewhere on him. Even if sometimes I'll come around like this, I'm always anchoring one hand and then the other hand to it. And that's so I don't peek yet. Alright, so now you can kind of see we're starting to get this one side versus the other, right? Pretty much the same thing. Just kind of shape it out first. Blow dryer to about like 85% and then just let it air dry from